pH before. We had jumped the gun earlier.
Right.
So
I was too excited.
no, Breeze. So you did
So
mention the level. So break that down for us, man.
right. So the pH we're using cocoa, we need to, be within 5.5 and 6.5. When you want to check that pH, because that's the range where the plant can uptake the nutrients. If it's not in between those numbers, the plant not gonna uptake the nutrients. And since we in early veg, we want to get it closer to the 5.5, not like at 5.5. We want to give it some swing room.
Yeah.
Myself, I try to aim for like 5.8, kind of up in there, but it's an early veg. So if it's if you check it and if it's like 5, if it's anywhere between 5.5 and 6.5, to
Good.
leave the fuck alone. If you like, all right, I don't want to fuck with it. I don't,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That's between my number. The plant good, leave it the fuck alone. But if me, how I get my number, I start my number, what I'm saying? When I check my pH, I like to get it like 5.8, kind of up in there. But since we're using cocoa, it's definitely good to check, that number. And like I said, you're going to use that at the very end. Once you mix all your nutrients up and you check your ppm and it's the range you want it, that's when you use your pH pen. After everything is mixed and you get to adjusting from there. But remember, once you adjust that, it can definitely raise, or it can definitely raise your ppm. So
recalibrate your
definitely,
shit.
right, use your TDH meter again to check your ppms after you use your I think they call pH adjusters, saying to try to get it to balance. But again, we definitely preach this your first grow, and that's how we speaking on this your first grow. Get the complete crop, and you know what I'm saying, is just a couple little scoops. So hit the easy button, get the complete crop.
All right,
Complete crop.
Yeah. All right, when you get now, we're talking about early veg. It's a couple of things that you're gonna have to remember. The first thing is don't even though you use a complete crop, don't mix the two powders up. If you have the micro plus 2, you're gonna put one at a time in the water. The second thing is, because you're in early veg and your ppm is gonna be real low, complete crop. It's probably
right, like, that shit wouldn't come out right.
it's probably not gonna adjust the pH for you because you ain't got enough in there. The more fertilizer you put in the water, the lower your pH balance is gonna be. Now, you got pH balance. It's different for cocoa or hydroponics because cocoa is a hydroponic medium. So hydroponics and soil has two different pH ranges. That's why you can water just regular house plants in soil with tap water and you can be all good. The pH range for soil is between 6 and 7. So the water that comes out the tap is a natural pH of 7. All the water that we drink has a pH of 7. They pH is 7. That's why you can water your house plants in soil and it be all good. Because we ain't never have to worry about no pH adjusters, water no damn house plants. All right.
Right.
But with cocoa, that's a hydroponic medium. Now the hydroponic range is like he said, 5.5 to 6.5. Now we sway those numbers for different reasons, and when you get your game tight, you're gonna learn to do that, and you're gonna do that. But for right now, you want to aim for 6. 6 gonna benefit you in both ways. If your pH swing up, you good because you got all the way to 6.5. If it's dropped, you got all the way down to 5.5. All right. The range for hydroponics, the magic number is 5.8. That's the magic number for hydroponics. All right. Now that's during the vegetative stage, and because while it's during the vegetative stage, the plant uses a shitload of nitrogen. And that's what nitrogen is most prevalent at, under 6. All right. In bloom, the plant uses a shitload of phosphorus and potassium. And that shit is prevalent around 6 too. All right. So some growers, sway their shit up. because they wanted to
Right.
get as much phosphorus and potassium as it possibly can. And then in veg, they have it low because they needed to get in all the nitrogen and calcium and magnesium. Calcium is super big in early veg, and those numbers are low, 5, 8. If you're using bacterial or mycorrhizal fungi, that shit raises the pH. And that's another reason that you want your pH low in veg. So in veg, I shoot for, like little brother said, I shoot for 5.8, 5.7, 5.8. And I'm good. And my roots just fucking explode.
Right.
As you grow along in your grow and your nutrients needs grow, say that 300-400, now you need 800-900. Now that complete crop gonna do its thing for you. When you put it in there, it's gonna take it straight to 6, maybe sometimes 6.1.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It depends on if how your water is, or if put something else in there. Like if you're using something like silica with your grow, like I do, silica raises the pH sky fucking high. It shoots it up, makes it alkaline. And for those who don't know, the pH range, low pH is acidic, high pH is alkaline. All right. So the more acidic the water, cannabis likes acidic water, fertilizer. They like that shit. All right, they don't like it real alkaline. They can't do nothing with that.
Right.
All right, nothing at all. So the more nutrients you put in your water, the more it's gonna regulate your pH. That's a good way, or a good rule of thumb to figure out what's going on in your root zone. You measure what's your starting ppms, and then as it coming out the bottom, you measure what that came out the bottom. All right. If that number high, if that number super high, then your pH probably gonna be acidic. Meaning because you got so much shit in there. And more nutrients you add to it push the pH down. But say you test your runoff and your ppm number's low. You starting with you putting, you up to 600 now. If you check your ppms on your runoff and it's only 200. Yeah, your pH probably high up in there. You probably gonna be experiencing some problems, some leaf problems and shit like that. So your pH is very important because that's gonna determine how, or the ability of your plant roots to uptake nutrients. 9 times out of 10, if you got problems with your bitch, it's because of the pH. 9 times out of 10, that's what it is. Because you think about it, you put nutrients in it. Everybody got their own fertilizer, complete crop, advanced nutrients, motherfucking Miracle Grow. All that shit is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Basic needs. And as you put it in there, the plant gonna have it. Now the pH gonna determine whether she can take it or leave it.
Right. So you mentioned runoff. So how do we measure that? How do we check that?
The same way you check it, your starting number when you mix your nutrients up and you stick your TDS meat in there.
Mm-hmm.
When you water your plant, it's gonna come out the bottom. You should have a tray down there.
Oh,
when
I
it
got
comes
you.
out when it comes out in that tray, that's called your runoff water.
Okay.
Then you stick your TDS meter in that and see what that number is. Because whatever that number is, that what was in your root zone. You just flush that out.
Right.
When you water. So everything that
Right.
was in there, you done flushed out. And then you check that and see how much was in there. If that number real high, that mean your bitch ain't eating. And she ain't and she ain't taking it, and she ain't uptaking those nutrients. I'm sorry, not eating, but uptaking the nutrients. Why is she not uptaking the nutrients? Because her pH ain't right. They ain't available for her. If your pH at 9, she ain't gonna be able to get no calcium and magnesium.
She don't do shit with that.
She can't do nothing with that. She don't know what she don't know what to do with that.
Right.
She don't know what to do. She's sending signals to her bacteria, and her bacteria like, I don't know what the fuck to do with that.
This shit at 9. I don't know what the fuck
I
to do
don't
with
know
that.
what the fuck to do with that. I'm looking at the shit I'm looking for supposed to be in this range, and it ain't there.
So let's say
it's supposed to be 5.5, 6.5.
So if you get to that point, like, is there a way to remediate that? Like, how do you back out of that? Like, if your shit get too high, like,
first thing
cut back on the amount of nutrients you're using.
So you're saying when your pH is too high, correct?
Yeah, let's say your pH is way too high.
All right. The first thing you're gonna do is throw away that piece of shit pH meter you got.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Throw that shit away.
Yeah.
Right.
Cause that what done fucked you up in the first place.
Right.
Yeah. You spent
Keep it clean.
You spent $12. You should have saved on that sack and gone ahead and spent the $50 and got you a decent one. Or if you ain't sure, you get the drops. If you can't afford shit, them drops cost like $10. And make sure it's piss yellow. If it's piss yellow, you good. Simple as that. You mix up your nutrient water, it come with a little valve. You put a little valve, you put a little water in the valve, and you take these drops that look like iodine. And you put about 3 or 4 drops in there, put the top on and shake it up. It's gonna turn a color. If it turn red, that means it's super acidic. If it turn like some super green, it's too alkaline, the pH too high. But if it's piss yellow, oh yeah, you right there and you good to go. Some people like they shit a little, like a little like, orange, a little red orange.
Piss. That's what you want.
That's what you want. I mean, some piss out there. I mean, one of them 4 ounce or 8-ball pisses. You know?
Like piss. You like, God damn, shit got a little glow in it. Like,
water.
You need some water.
Right. Get dehydrated. It needs some water.
Goddamn piss smell like onions and sub sandwiches and shit.
Some of that shit.
You're like, yeah, my pH is right. That's
right.
Right, but a good pen takes, you know what I'm saying, just like stick it in the bucket, like, oh, okay, bam.
Bad.
Get you some water, clean that motherfucker out.
I spent $100 and got me a Blue Lab, and that bitch been working for years, no problem.
Yeah.
Good to go. But yeah, just make sure your pH right. And when you after you make sure your pH right, we already talked about how frequent you're gonna water it. You're gonna water it, pick it up, see how heavy it is. And then once it start to get light, you water it again. Now, do you have to wait till it get feather light? No, just lighter than when you picked it up. When it's noticeably lighter than when you first watered it, it's time to water again. Right. Same thing, water runoff. Easy peasy on the water frequency.
You get to know your lady.
Know your lady.
We already talked about which nutrients you're gonna use. If you use a complete crop, you shouldn't be using but 2. Complete crop and the micro plus. Complete crop for, it's in the goddamn name. It's a complete crop. You know what I'm saying? You don't need nothing else. Everything else. The micro plus is awesome because it's mycorrhiza, but it has 2 things that need in veg: nitrogen and potassium. And if you look at your, micro plus, the number's gonna be 303. 3 parts nitrogen, 0 parts phosphorus, 3 parts potassium. So you got some nutrients, and it's gonna have some molasses in it. That's food for your mycorrhizal fungi. It's gonna have some goddamn amino acids in it. Those are fucking protein builders. Got a bunch of good shit in it.
That should sound like a multivitamin.
Like that's basically what it is. Why you bullshitting? While my plants are young, seedling, just say 1 blade fan leaves, I make up a nutrient solution of just that. I don't put no complete crop in it. It just be micro plus, pH to 6. That's it. That only bring my ppms up to like 100. Because in the number of fungi, it's fungus and molasses and proteins and shit. It's nothing really. That little amount of nitrogen and potassium in it ain't enough to drive your ppms up. So sometimes I just give them that. You know what I'm saying? And then you ain't gonna add nothing else until you get into bloom. So what nutrients you watering with, that should be it. Now, if you're using something else, like I'm using Humboldt, I got a base A and a base B. That's all I use.
Right.
And that Micro Plus, fuck that. I use that shit. That shit is golden. All right.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what nutrients I'm using. I'm using that shit.
I still fuck with that plus, and I use cannabis. So yeah, that Micro Plus is some.
And like, yeah, he got an A and B too. That's all he give it.
Right.
A and B and that Micro Plus. You know what I'm saying?
It's all my
now,
veg
do
shit.
y'all mix the A and B into one solution? Is this all into one? Let's say, like, I'm watering my plants. This is going into the water that I'm watering my plants with. Are y'all putting all of this into one batch of water, or is this in separate?
Oh no! It's
You know what I mean?
Like one
this
batch.
is all
Yeah.
being mixed in one batch.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
5-gallon bucket. All thing
All
you
right.
don't want to do is mix the A and B together before you put it in the water.
Right.
So
everything get mixed in the water.
Separate.
Gotcha.
You get your A, measure out how
Put
much
it
you
in the
want,
water.
put it in the water. Then
Gotcha.
you get your B, get the same amount as the A,
Mhm.
put it in the water, mix
Put it in
that
the
shit
water.
up, test to see how strong it is. If you need more, follow that same steps,
Right.
but use less. So if you use 10
Right.
milliliter at first, hey, use 5 milliliters now of each one.
Yeah.
Mix it up, test.
Mhm.
My bag is
That's
full of
that.
leaves, my trees, they got no leaves.
One nigga show me love.